The Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch beta has come out with level 70 characters to try. So what did I do? Well, I tried every single class to see which one is the most fun to play. The characters you can make in the PTR are only level 70, so not every single ability is unlocked yet, but if the class is boring at level 70, it probably won't change. Coming at number 4 is the Rogue. The Rogue deserved the number 4 spot because it doesn't contribute enough in raids. If your fun comes from just simply doing damage to a single target and not really supporting the group or raid, this is the class for you. The Rogue in PvE doesn't really have a complicated rotation. As an assassination rogue, your whole purpose is to destroy the boss and not really do any damage on the trash. When I say your whole purpose is to destroy the boss, I really mean it. You do crazy amount of damage on bosses. One thing I do like about the Rogue is that you can play it differently than the rest. Abilities like Stealth makes your leveling experience different by being able to ignore mobs and skip parts of quests. Poisons are also a unique trait that only rogues have. There are many types of poisons that the rogue can use and it adds to the feeling of actually being a rogue and not just a melee class. Another thing that is great about the rogues is the PvP. They aren't as good as they were in TBC, but are still very fun to play. Rogues in PvP require skill to be good. You can't just spam abilities and hope for the best. My third pick is none other than the Paladin. I played the Retribution Paladin during the PTR, as I can tell the Ret Paladin is completely different. No more seal twisting to do damage, but instead multiple different abilities. Having 3 different judgments really makes the class more fun because now you can decide which judgment is better to choose in that situation. Abilities like Divine Storm, Crusader Strike, and the judgments feel so smooth to play. Killing mobs is straight up just fun. In the PTR I went to the island of Keldonis and just killed mobs because of how satisfying the gameplay was with the Paladin. Now let's get into the PvP. How's the Ret Paladin in PvP? It's good, but it's not the top 1 DPS. The thing that they're good at is how perfect of a DPS support class they are. That means that they can pair up with pretty much everything in 2s and 3s. Don't get me wrong, the Ret Paladin is really good in PvP, but the best spec for Arena is the Holy Paladin. I didn't try the Holy Paladin, so I really don't have a lot to say about it. At number 2, the Death Knight. They're melee fighters that wield dark magic and runeforged weapons. DKs are the new class Wrath brings to the table. There are 3 different specs: Blood, Frost, and Unholy. Blood is the tank spec while the other 2 are the DPS. I played a dual wield Frost DK in the pre-patch beta, and all I gotta say is it's fun as hell. It feels like you're playing a more advanced Fury Warrior with its own twist. The better I got on the DK, the more fun it became. The DK brings a unique approach to the melee class. It has a new resource called the Rune System. This system has runes and runic power. The Death Knight can use runes to cast some abilities, but for others, they must have acquired a certain amount of runic power through combat. This system is really unique because it has a renewable resource like mana, but also a resource that you get in combat like Rage, which has a diverse set of abilities in your arsenal. Did I also mention that you feel like a badass while playing the DK? You feel good, you look cool, you are cool when you play the DK. I also like how consistent the damage is on the DK. Other classes suffer from the issue where they do a lot of damage for a short period of time, but most of the time don't do a lot. Prime example being the Rogue. But the DK does a consistent amount of damage at all times. The DK is also at the top of DPS for basically all 4 phases. The DK peaks at phase 3 with its damage. Frost DKs get to do an ungodly amount of single target damage because of armor penetration all over phase 3 gear. The class I thought was the most fun is none other than the Hunter. The Hunter was a monster machine when it came to damage in TBC, but I personally didn't like the rhythm based damage. Timing your steady shot to not clip your auto shot and popping your CDs was really linear and pretty boring, but now everything has changed. Beast Mastery, the spec that was, no doubt, the best in TBC is not even viable in Wrath. It survivals and marksman's time to shine. I played survival in the PTR and man, it feels good. With new abilities like Explosive Shot and Black Arrow, Hunters actually have a rotation. One thing I also like about the Hunter is that it's a ranged class, but it's not a caster. You can cast most abilities on the move, you don't have to stand still. Pets now also have a talent tree. There's also 3 different types of pets: Cunning, Ferocity, and Tenacity. Each type is different in its own way. Cunning pets are mostly used in PvP, Ferocity is for DPS, and Tenacity are used as tanks. Some abilities have also gotten a revamp, like Volley and Disengage. Disengage used to be an ability that reduced threat which could only be used when you were at melee distance. It was practically useless. But now, Disengage is an ability that makes you leap back when in combat. This is so much better and can be used in so many situations, ranging from PvP to PvE. Volley was pretty terrible in Classic and TBC. It did no damage, so it really wasn't used. But now it does so much more damage and it crits. These are my top picks for the funnest classes in Wrath. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you disagree with the video, leave a comment on which class you think is the most fun.